Welcome to the week 2 lesson recording. And you can see that week 2 is April 8 through 15. And week 2 lesson recording is actually going to be what I call, on the left side over here, the course overview recording. So the course overview recording you'll watch so you can complete the course overview write-up, and we'll go through that. And then after you do that, you're going to do the process in the course overview presentation to set up your computer, doing all of these things. And this will make a little bit more sense as we move along. But the whole idea here is for you to take week 2 and get your computer set up properly so you understand, or so you have everything ready to go as we start doing the real work in week 3. So please pay attention as we go through this, and this will give you the answers to the Class Connect write-up, and it'll also explain what you'll be doing when you set up your computer. So I'm going to go right over here to the left, and you can see there's where the recording is. That's how you got into this. And there's the course overview write-up and the presentation. Now the course overview write-up, you'll see that there are a bunch of questions. There are essentially 15 questions. But there are going to be 2 parts to this. So you're going to watch this recording as you're doing now, and you're going to answer the write-up questions. Then you're going to go on your own, and you're going to watch the course overview presentation and set up your computer to work properly. So it's really important that you do this in 2 steps. So the work for this week might take you a couple of hours, but it's really important that you get it done properly. So let's just jump right into the course overview. Actually, I have a spelling error there. Let me fix that. There we go. So we're going to go right into the write-up, and as we do the write-up, of course, you copy and paste into the Dropbox, and as I've said before, you did this with the week 1 write-up. So what you'll do is you'll highlight all of these with the numbers 2, right-click, copy, paste into a word processor. Once you paste into a word processor, then you type in your answers. Then once you have all the answers typed, you've done spell checking and everything, then you re-highlight the whole thing from your word processor, copy and paste into the text box for that write-up. So make sure you do those things exactly right, please. Okay, so let's go ahead. So let's look at the write-up. So you'll see what I'll be doing here. I'll be going between these write-up questions and watching the presentation. So the first question, what is an operating system? So here's the course overview presentation. And you can see that what this is going to do, it'll show you how to move through the course, how to find files and folders on your computer, how to set up your computer, how to use the zip utility, zipping and unzipping files, downloading and unzipping course resources, etc. Now all the lessons, the way this class is set up, you have this presentation, and then all the lessons. If I go down to section 1, you'll see a presentation very similar to this. So this is how this course is set up. It has these presentation screens. So this overview presentation is set up the same way. So let's get back to the overview presentation. So taking a look at this, in this lesson 1 there are 4 lessons. You can see what we're going to do in lesson 1. Computer requirements, all of you should have modern computers, so you shouldn't have any trouble with that. Moving between the pages, so when you're in these presentations, not only this one, but the ones within lessons, like I showed you the sample, you can always look at the table of contents, and you can go to different places in here and go to that exact page, or you can use the arrows to go from page to page. So which of the following ways to move to different pages in the course? So you can answer that, and of course the forward and backward button. So follow these steps. Now as when you watch presentations, a variety of things are going to happen. Presentation will come on your screen, and you're going to have steps like this. As you go through the actual coursework, you'll have presentations like this, and then you'll have steps that you'll follow. And the step will show up right in this box. So you can see how this will really help you as you go through the work. So these are called demonstrations. Now you can also click down here. You see where it says watch the demonstration? Watch when I click this. This actually goes through the exact steps that you would do. I'm going to hit close to continue. So the idea here is that as you go through the presentations in this course, in each of the sections, this is how you'll navigate through the demonstration parts that tell you what to do and how to do it, like using Audacity and changing files and things. Hardware and software, of course, you probably know what hardware and software is, software programs. The operating system. So the operating system on your computer manages all of the hardware and software on your machine. So the operating system is kind of the brains of the computer. And the reason you need to know that, there are different operating systems. This course has directions written for Windows XP. But if you have a different operating system, click here, and here's a page that shows you what to do with Windows Vista, if you have that, what to do with Windows 7, if you have that, or what to do if you have a Mac. Now what I'm going to do is I will create files for the Windows 7 and the Windows Vista how-to documents, so those will help you out a little bit. But the idea here is that first you need to find out what your operating system is. And the way you find out your operating system, let's just click this again and show you, like find your operating system, so Windows 7. So this tells you how to find your operating system. Where does it show that? Oh, this is if you already know your operating system. So for Windows 7, to find your operating system, you go down to Start, Computer, right-click on Computer, Properties, and you see right here that my computer has Windows 7. Now if you have Windows, another version of Windows, just go to My Computer, right-click, and get Properties. So that's a little bit about operating system. Taskbars. Of course, you know when you have multiple windows working, you can move between windows like that. That'll be important in this class because you'll be using Audacity in one window and in the course in another window. Pressing multiple keys, you can hold down Control and hit multiple keys. Or hold down Control, then hit a key for multiple keys. Switching between windows, Alt-Tab lets you move between different windows in your computer. So hold down the Alt key, hit the Tab key. So here's what we learned in section 1, and I'm going to go back to the course overview write-up and explain what an operating system is. We looked at that, and what operating system do you have? So you need to answer this question. And now we're going to go into lesson 2. And I need to go back to the write-up to see what my questions are in lesson 2. Why is it important that you set your computer up to view file extensions? What will be the name of the course folder and where will it be located? Okay. So files are kept in folders, and you know that. And of course you should have a folder for this course somewhere on your computer. I suggest you put it on your desktop. And the way my computer is organized, I have a folder called Insight Block 4, and then I'll have my audio class folder in there, my web design class folder. So that's what you want to make sure you have, are folders for each of your classes. And there's different ways to view folders. That's what we're going to look at on how to view folders. So to change the folder view, so again, this is in Windows XP, but I'm going to have for you, in fact, I'll show it to you here. Here's a document that tells how to do all this work in Windows 7. So to change folder views, you can see down here. So I'm going to show you in Windows 7 how to change folder view. Then I have a document just like this for the other version of Windows. So I'm going to go to Start, Computer, Local C. So when I'm in Local C, then I can go to let's see, Properties. I guess you have to look at that page that I created, right? Click Computer, click the drop down arrow to the right, change your view. Okay. So right up here, what they're talking about is here at the right. So right over here, do you see where it says more options? Here's the view options here. So here's the list view. If I hit details view, that's what I get. If I hit tiles view, that's what I get. But we want to be in, or if I hit small icons view, that's what I get. But we want to be in the list view. So that's how you do it in Windows 7. So you want to make sure you have the folder view set up properly. Now, file name extensions. These are really important because this will tell you the type of file it is. Like a Word file might be DOC, or a web page file might be HTML. So you need to be able to view the file extensions. You can see the different file extensions over here. So now we're going to look at how to do that for the different types of computers, or different types of operating systems. So to show the file name extensions, of course, I have Windows 7. These directions are for Windows XP. But in Windows 7, if I go back to that document that I'll have posted, to view the file extensions, so in the computer window, we go to Organize, Folder, Search Options. So I'll go back to, so here I am in my C drive, Organize, Folder and Search Options, View, and what I want to do in Windows 7, make sure that it says right here, hide extensions for known file types, take that off. We do not want to hide extensions. We want to be able to see extensions. So you'll do that, then you'll hit apply, then you'll hit OK. So again, I showed you how to do it in Windows 7, but you're also going to need, if you have like Windows XP, then you're going to be doing that differently. So you want to view the file extensions. Finding files and folders, I think you know how to do that. You double click on a folder and then you find your files in that folder. Main hard drive, for most of you, is going to be the C drive on your computer. Make a course folder. So you should know how to do that. So if I go up to, here's my computer, I'm going to go into, there's block 4, there's audio engineering. Well, actually, I'll just do it from right here in block 4. So I'm right here in my block 4. I'm going to hit new folder, and I'm just going to call this sample audio eng, just to show you how to do it. Then I hit enter. There's my course folder. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. I don't need it. You want to have an audio, you want to have an audio engineering folder. Mine happens to be in my block 4 folder. So you can organize however you want, but make sure you have a folder for this course. And this says to make it with your initials. So go ahead and type audio and then what your first and last initials. That would be fine as the name for that folder. Okay, the summary. So we did all of this in lesson 2. Let's go back to the write-up to see if we answered the questions. Why is it important that you set your computer view file extensions? So you know what types of files they are. And what is the name of the course folder, and where will it be located? Well, the name of your course folder would be called Audio or Audio Engineering. And where will it be located? It'll be located either on your desktop, or you can put it in your Block 4 folder if you have a main folder for Block 4. However you want to do that. Just tell me where you're going to, where yours is going to be located. Lesson 3, we're going to look at file compression. What is the term for file compression? Do you need 7-zip? And do you know how to zip files? So let's go back to the presentation. Move on to number 3. Now this is really important because we're going to look at setting up a browser and also installing zip, or being able to zip files. So you have your web browsers. I use Internet Explorer. Some of you might use Firefox. They want you to change some browser settings. So I'm going to leave that up to you. So if you have Firefox, you'd go here to change some of the Firefox settings. If you have Internet Explorer, click here and change some of those settings. I'm not going to demonstrate that. I'll leave that up to you to go in to do this. But what they're having you do is they're having you reset, if you can, the privacy, the privacy and security settings. Now, if you can't do it because they're locked or something, then don't worry about it. But if you can, then you want to go ahead and change them to the default levels that they're suggesting there. So you can make that change in your own browser. Now we're getting into file compression. And what file compression means is that it makes files small enough to send over the internet. So that's what file compression is. Makes them smaller because some files are so large it takes a long time to download them, to send them over the internet, send them through email. And some large files won't even go through email. So you can see the little picture right here where it shows a 10 kilobit file compressed down to 2 kilobyte. Now there's a utility, a program to zip, and that's the term used for these files to compress. It's called zipping. It's called 7-zip. So a zipped file is a compressed file. So you zip it to compress it, then you unzip it to open it up. So unzipping, that's also called extracting, and I'll show you the couple of steps in doing this. So you can do the answer the question on that. So steps for downloading the file depending on your browser. So all of you have probably downloaded files, so hopefully you know how that works. So download 7-zip. And this is a program called 7-zip. Now before you go and download that zipping program, here's what I want you to do. I'm going to go to my C drive. And let's say, see this audio engineering? Let's say I want to, actually this folder right here, let's say I want to zip that. So I click on it, I right click, and then I can send to compressed zipped. So I already can do it on my Windows 7 machine. So I hit send to compressed zip, and watch what happens. It's compressing that. So now I have right here, I have the zipped file that I can send through email. So again, if you're able to do that on your computer, you're able to right click on a folder and send to compressed zip, then you do not need to download 7-zip. Now if you do need to download 7-zip, once you get it downloaded and installed, then when you right click, then you'll have something that'll probably say zip with 7-zip or something like that. Then go ahead and do it. Now the one thing you'll notice, I didn't have to put the word zip at the end of it. It automatically gave it the correct file extension. So what we've just looked at right here at having a zip program on your computer that does it automatically and not having to download 7-zip. But if you do need to download 7-zip, then just follow either the Firefox directions or the Internet Explorer directions to download and install 7-zip. So here are the directions to get it installed, and most of you have installed software before, so you shouldn't have any problems with that. How to zip files? Well, I just showed you, didn't I? Navigate to the file or folder you want. So again, you can go through these presentations, right-click on it, and here's an example of how you do 7-zip. But of course, I showed you on my Windows 7 machine how I could just do send to compress zip. Now, if you are going to use 7-zip, then you click add to archive, and then you make it a zip file, so you have to have a couple more steps that you have to do if you're going to be using 7-zip. How to unzip. Now I'll show you how to unzip a file. So check this out. I'm going to go ahead and right-click, send to a zipped folder. So I'm going to zip that. Actually, let me see if I have it. Okay, I have it right here. So this is a resources folder that this is a resources folder that you're going to download in a minute. So you can see up here that I'm in my auto engineering folder. I have resources.zip that I downloaded. I'll show you where to do that. Now I'm going to right click on it and I hit extract all, and see what I get here. I'm going to hit extract and check this out. See what that does is that takes all of those that zip folder and it puts it in a folder called resources. So that's how unzipping works. You just right click and unzip. So now I'm in my folder called resources, and I just unzipped all of these things in my folder called resources. So I can now delete this resources.zip folder because I've already unzipped it. I have everything that was in it. So that's how this works. So my audio engineering course now has a folder called resources, and in that resources folder I have all this stuff that's going to help me in the class. So that's what you need to do as a student. So if we go back to our presentation, this walks you through how to unzip. Now if you're using 7-zip, you'll see that you're going to unzip a little bit differently. Make sure you tell it where to go, and it should go automatically to that place. So in summary, we did all of this, set up our web browser, look at zipping and unzipping and all that. So let's go to the write-up and see if we answered these questions. Fully explain what file compression does. Talked about that, right? What is the term used for a file that has been compressed? Talked about that. Do you need 7-zip or does your computer allow it? Tell me yes or no. Do you know how to zip files? Yes or no? I hope you do, because I just showed you, plus you're going to go through the presentation on your own. And number 4, do you know how to download and extract the course resources folder? Do you know how to install Audacity? What's the difference between A assignments and B assignments? So we're almost finished with the presentation overview. So hang in there. Oh, here's an example. I went too far, went way back to the beginning. So I'm going to go to table of contents, and I know I want to go to lesson 4. So I'm just going to go right to lesson 4 now. That's how the table of contents can be helpful. So let's look at how the course operates. So it's going to be download the course resources. So in Firefox or Internet Explorer. So there's in Firefox. Here's an Internet Explorer. Whoops. Let's go back to choose your browser. I'll go ahead and choose Internet Explorer. Now I want to download the course resources, so I'll go right here. And I'm going to save those course resources. And of course, I already saved them. I already have mine, but you can see down below how it's doing that. So you want to make sure you get that course resources.zip folder. And it might save it on a different part of your computer, but once it does get saved, you want to make sure that you save it into your course folder, just like I did. Remember, I showed you this example. This is what I have right here. I have my audio engineering folder, and remember I had the resources.zip, but I extracted it. So my auto engineering, ultimately I'm going to end up with all of my resource files in there. That's what you want to do at the end of this downloading and unzipping. So then once you get that zip folder downloaded, then of course you're going to unzip, and I showed you how to unzip earlier. Of course this shows how to unzip with 7-zip, but if your machine does it automatically, then you right click on it and then extract. Now install Audacity. Now you're going to go back to your resources folder that you downloaded. So if I go back to my resources folder, right here's an Audacity installation. So I double click that and I install Audacity. So this tells me how to do that. So you're going to find that on your computer, you're going to install it. Excuse me. Now the way the course works is divided into sections. So if we go over here, I showed you that already, section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can see how it's all divided. Of course, the beginning I always have the lesson recording and the write-up, and then everything else, and I also have the quiz previews I'll have for you. So what I have in section 1 is a little bit different from this, and I've added more resources for you. Now this isn't our course, it's just a sample of another course, but the way this all works, you first have study questions, and the study questions you answer as you go along in the course. Then you have the quizzes, and of course I provide you the quiz previews. The assignments, there's a number of different type of assignments, and of course ours is different. So over here you can see there's assignment 1A and 1B, and we'll talk about those in a minute. So finding items in the course, easily to navigate through the course, isn't it? So completing the study questions, you can read this, and what they're suggesting is you take the study questions. So I'll go to study questions right here. And click and drag all the study questions, copy and paste. So you would go like right here, and then you would copy and paste into word processor. And what they're telling you to do is they're telling you to put it into a word processor, and then you save the file and all of that. Now that's what I would suggest. So you can see right here how they have you name the file. I suggest you do that in the word processor. Go ahead and save it with the name that they suggest, but instead of submitting it as a Word file, go ahead and let's do it just like the write-ups. Just go ahead and paste it into the text area of the study questions 1 Dropbox. That way it's much easier for me when I give you feedback on all of your answers, rather than having a Word document that I would have to refer to and all of that. So again, on these study questions, you're gonna go ahead and do them in Word. Go ahead and save those in your audio course folder. But then when you submit, just submit as text in the Dropbox. Just copy and paste as text in the Dropbox. That's how I would like us to do it. So completing the study questions, you'll do those as you do the reading, as you go through the lesson presentation. Different assignments. The A assignments require that you do research and reflect on what you learned. The B assignments, you're going to use Audacity or other programs. So those are the differences between the A and the B assignments. And this just talks about where do you get information, so you can read about that. Of course, lots of people use Wikipedia. It's not always the best place, but Wikipedia does have good answers for you. So we looked at section 4, and that's the end of this presentation. Now the last part of it is a career connection. So you're going to click right here and learn a little bit about this guy who's a sound technician, an audio technician. So you can see all the questions and his responses in there. So if I go back to the course overview write-up, let's make sure we answered all the lesson 4. Do you know how to download and extract the course resources folder? Yes or no? Do you know how to install Audacity? Yes or no? What's the difference between A and B assignments? We talked about that. And then finally, for questions 12 through 15, you're going to write me a paragraph about the interview with Eric. Do not copy and paste. I want your own words. I want you to write out your own words in this. So you include what he does, what he likes about his job, etc. So to wrap this up, I'm going to go back to the course overview write-up. To wrap this up, remember you're watching this recording right now. You're going to answer the write-up questions and submit the write-up questions as text in the Dropbox, right? So you know how to do that. Then you're going to go watch the course overview presentation right here on the left and do all the work from the course overview presentation to set your computer up. And I've showed you most of that. So I think that's all. So I think you can get all of that done in a couple of hours. And this is week 2 work, and you're going to be off to a great start. The biggest thing is to make sure you do everything that this course presentation says. Pay attention to it so you get things started up. You get it started off on the right foot. You get well organized. You don't have any problems. Because you're going to be working with lots of files in this class, and you need to stay very organized. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. And before I close out, just remember that this recording was for your week 2 work. Okay, thanks everyone. I look forward to your work. Bye.